Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Sunday, the 3rd of January, 2021. Happy New Year to all of you. So there was a basketball game last night. And I hope, first of all, all of you are well. I hope that you're COVID free. And if you are sick, I hope you get better very quickly and recover 100%. I hope you're safe in this world where people are getting more and more desperate for lack of basic necessities. And I hope you're provided for. Double blessings on the healthcare workers who are risking their lives to save other lives on a daily basis. Double blessings to you. So there was a basketball game last night. And our New York Knicks played against the Indiana Pacers. There's a contingent of people that like to say that the Knicks lack talent. And there are same people and others that were saying, the Knicks need to acquire a star. We need a star. We need somebody to come and save us. And as you all know who have been watching my channel, I totally reject these notions. But the Knicks did indeed acquire a star this past off season. His name is Tom Thibodeau. Yes, the Knicks acquired talent along with the aforementioned Tom Thibodeau. They also acquired Kenny Payne from Kentucky, Johnny Bryant from Utah, Mike Woodson, who used to coach us in New York, as well as front office people like Walt Perrin. The Knicks acquired the most important talent they have acquired since they hired Pat Riley. And Pat Riley hired Jeff Van Gundy and Tom Thibodeau. It's the last time they had this type of talent on the sidelines. And when you have from top to bottom, starting with Leon Rose, and we have to give credit to James Dolan. I know y'all don't like to do that, but get over your feelings. Yes, the man has messed up badly over the years, but he hired Leon Rose and let Leon Rose run the show. And Leon Rose chose everybody else we have here. This is the talent that we needed. We're talking about building a long-term, sustainable winner in New York. Not a 1-8 seed wonder, but some team, an organization that every single year, even the media haters will be saying, well, the Knicks are going to be in the playoffs. We're looking to build a long-term, sustainable winner. And every team that has that, the San Antonio Spurs, we mentioned the Boston Celtics, we mentioned the Los Angeles Lakers, we mentioned the Miami Heat. Every team that has that has a competent front office. And that front office builds a competent coaching staff for the long term. And they have a system, and they have a style, and they have a culture that any player that goes to the Miami Heat or the San Antonio Spurs or the Los Angeles Lakers or the Boston, so they're going to know there's a culture there, and either you're in or you're out. Now it's our turn. And I know there's growing pains because the Knicks been on crack a long time, and as some people have rightly said, we have crack babies that are still trying to make the same moves and dream about the same foolish mistakes that we've made over the last 20 years. But we don't need to do that anymore. We hired a star. We acquired talent. And last night, the Knicks put together 48 minutes of good basketball. Basketball that is pleasant to watch. And, if you've been a long-term Knicks fan, and some of y'all go back to the 90s, some of us, like me, go back to the 70s, you've heard every year the Knicks talking about playing defense, rebounding, getting better, putting together 48 good minutes. But, Red Holzman did it. Pat Riley did it. But other than those two guys, and then of course Jeff Van Gundy had it going for a minute too. But other than those two guys, those three guys, you would never really get it from anybody. People would talk it. Except the year that Woodson led the Knicks to 54 wins. They were putting together some stuff that year. Okay, but it's very rare. And certainly for at least, let's say, since Kristaps Porzingis was drafted, we haven't had it. Not only that, remember when we drafted Kristaps Porzingis? And, idiots like Stephen A. Smith were all, they drafted Porzingis, couldn't even say his name right. The kid was good. I ain't gonna front. But we were always like one pulled this, one twisted that away from him being hurt and then us losing. Well, now we have talent at the coaching staff, and we have that they're bringing out the talent that we already have on the roster. People say, you can't win with this roster. Apparently we can. We just beat a playoff team last night. A very good playoff team. We beat a team a week or so ago, like number 1 or 2 team in the East. Beat them bad. This is like the second game the Knicks are 3-3. Out of the 6th game, this is the second game they put together 48 minutes of beautiful basketball. And it's the second time we've seen it in the last 5 years. Because they haven't done it. But now they're actually doing it. And last night, they were wire to wire playing, balling against a good Pacers team. A good Pacers team. And what really, there's many things we could talk about this game. Many things, man. I mean, even though they were down after the first quarter, they were down at the half, I was very confident because the Knicks were balling. They were playing, and they were playing a good team. Let's just go over a couple things before we get into individual players. And there's lots of praise to go around. I want to talk about just overall. They out-rebounded the Pacers badly, at least by 15. They out-rebounded them. Let's see, the Knicks had 51 rebounds. The Pacers had 32 to 51. They out-rebounded the Pacers by almost 20 rebounds. We had 23 assists. Now, that's a little low for us. We want 30. But in our really good wins, we've been getting 27, 28. We're headed that way. It's a work in progress. So, and I'm very hopeful about how that's going to end up at the end. Okay. So the ball was moving. We had 15 turnovers, way too many turnovers. But again, we'll talk about Julius Randle first in a minute. But okay. So it was a good win overall. It was a 48-minute win. They played. Now, there were several Knick killers. There's at least 2 Knick killers on the Pacers. When I say Knick killers, you guys that are long-term Knick fans know what I'm talking about. There are certain players that just have their best games against the Knicks. Victor Oladipo is one of those guys. When he was drafted by Orlando. And we played them one time, and he was coming off the bench for them. They were disciplining him or something. That boy came off the bench and killed us. And every time we played him, he was killing us. He tried to do it last night, but nah. And this scrub, TJ McConnell, he would always kill it. When he was on Philly, I couldn't believe, this is one of them cats that would drive me crazy. He'd be getting in the lane at will against us. And it's like, he's a bottom of the barrel type player, minimum wage type player. He's in the NBA, so you gotta give him his props. He's in the league, but I'm saying he shouldn't be doing that, but not last night. Not last night. And then there'd be situations where a player on the opposing team would be killing us, like would just be hot, like Brogdon was last night. And we would make no adjustments. And that guy would get, like, if it was hard, he'd get 60 on us, and they go off. And while Brogdon was killing it, the Knicks adjusted And then when he would get the ball, there'd be two players on him. What I loved about it though, what made me excited about it, they would double him, right? And often one of the players that would double him would be Randle, because Randle's man would be setting the pick. And not only would they double him, they show double on him, so he'd have to give the ball up. Randle would sprint back to his man. Brethren, I was so happy, man. I was just watching the Knicks and I was seeing this and I was like when they announced, when Clyde and Mike Brigham announced that it was like a half and Randle hadn't scored yet, I didn't even notice. I didn't. You know why? Because we were playing such a team game and Randle was passing that rock. The first two 3-point shots that RJ nailed were assists from Randle. He had at least 2 or 3 assists from Randle. And it was good assists where Randle would get that ball, get into the middle of the lane and whip it to the corner like, whoo! I was like, whoa, look at him. And that steal. All right, let me start talking about Randle right now. That steal to seal the game. And the thing is about the steal, okay, last year that would have been a foul. He would have fouled the guy last year. The reason he didn't this year, okay, is because number one, he's in shape. He wasn't out of shape last year now, but he's lean. He's more lean this year. He said he'd been doing a lot of running. You could see it on him. Number one. Number two, his feet were moving. He wasn't just reaching for the ball. He set his feet. He positioned his feet. He made the right foot movements to put himself in position to steal the ball. We got something with Julius Randle. Please don't trade him. I don't want to trade him now. I don't want to trade him. Because Tom Thibodeau is creating a monster. That's why. If it was just that it wasn't Tibbs and Randle just came in and was just balling because of his contract year. And you know, we've seen that a lot. And he wasn't balling last year because he just wasn't trying. That'd be one thing. But Thibodeau has him buying in. And he is becoming a better basketball player, which for a talent like that means a star. Okay. Randle has always been talented. It was never a question of his talent. If you go back to his high school tape, go back to his days at Kentucky, he's talented. The question was whether he was going to be, have the desire to build off of that talent, to develop it. And this is surprising to me because I was on board with trading him. Y'all know I have videos on trading him. What packages could we get for him? And I was disappointed when I heard they weren't trading. I was like, okay, they're going to trade him at the deadline because we got to get rid of this guy. Nah. He's 26. Prime is next year. And he is, last night, 12 points, 8 assists, 11 boards. Now, he had 4 turnovers, but it's because he was looking to pass the rock. And he does handle the rock a lot. I'm at the point now where I'm like, let's let Julius handle the rock a lot. Like, let him be the focal point in offense. Because first of all, again, I've always said this about Julius Randle. And y'all know, if you listen to my video, as a third option, he's rough. Because I don't think there's a player in the NBA that can handle him on the low block one-on-one. I'm just saying, that's the truth. And so now, every time he had the ball against Indiana, they were doubling him. And they need to double him. Because if they don't, he's going to kill you. So, but the difference is, when they double him, Cat already sees who he's going to pay. He sees where his options are. He lets the play come to him and makes the right play. And not only that, with him scoring 12 points, okay, to me, he had a great game. Forget the 12 points, 8 assists, 11 boards, almost a triple-double. And playing that type of defense? Nah, man. But even with that, RJ gets 25. I told you, he's going to be a 20-point scorer this year. It didn't even look like he scored that much to me. But it was effortless. And what I like about him, RJ is a straight dog. I mean, he just, above everything, he's not the most athletic guy. Okay, he never was. He wasn't that Duke. When you saw that Duke, he wasn't the most athletic player. He's always been strong. He's a physically strong boy for like 6'6", that he is, 6'6", 6'7". He's a strong kid. And he knows how to use that strength. We've seen him do that late, even at 19 last year. And he's still only 20. But the thing is about him, he's got a Mamba mentality. He's a dog, man. The Maple Mamba, that fits him. And you know when I saw it last night was this. Homie threw up an air ball, man. From like, it was like a 15, 17 foot shot. It was inside the 3-point line. And it was an air ball. I was like, what the hell, man? So there was a timeout, right? Homie came out the timeout. And you could just see it on his face. He was mad about the air ball. And he was going to attack. And he did. And he ended up getting fouled. I think he scored the basket and ended up getting fouled. But he definitely got fouled and went to the line. But you could see that look on his face. Man, not me. That's not me. And he came out smoking from his nose. I'm ready to kill somebody. And he did it. That's the type of guy that wins you playoff games. Think about it. See, you gotta think ahead. We're playing chess now. That's the type of guy that wins you playoff games. Okay? You need all type of players. You need dogs. You need winning pieces that are dogs, but you could just, slide them in. You need a winning piece. So I keep telling you about Ntilikina and he's not going to play. Well, whatever. But I'm saying he's a championship piece. The Knicks got a squad. And even if speaking of Ntilikina, even if he's out of the rotation, you could always call on him to guard anybody. Right? If everybody's in foul trouble, you could call on him. He's going to guard somebody. Okay? We got a deep squad. Now, last night, with regard to Bullock, I'm taking them one at a time. Bullock, right? Bullock was playing hard. That's the problem. See, Bullock plays really hard defense. He gives his all, and it takes a lot out of him. And what I saw last night is Thibodeau recognized it because Bullock had a wide open 3 and the shot was short. When I talked about losing legs the other night against the Raptors, it was Bullock mostly. He lost his legs. And so I was like, when I saw it last night, I said, oh, he lost his legs, man. He's not getting lift on his shot anymore. And right there, Thibodeau took him out. And I was like, they saw it, and they took him out. It wasn't that he was, he wasn't stinking up the joint. He put his all on the defensive end. So it takes a lot of energy. Okay. That's why two-way players are rare, because you got to use energy on both ends to be like a Kobe Bryant, be an all-NBA defender and be the offensive force that he was. Rest in peace. It takes a lot of energy. You got to be in shape. And that's another thing about RJ. Dude played 42 minutes last night. And when you look at him at the end of the game, he did not look gassed. He did not. And homie is clutch at the line. He put that game away last night. Okay? Again, I mean, rest in peace, Kobe. I'm not this, but Maple Mamba fits that boy. Okay? And he only 20, y'all. So, okay. So Bullock played a good game defensively. He only scored 6 points, but he had 7 boards. That's the thing. We need some rebounding and defense. And he had 7 boards, and he was playing some defense too. So was Kevin Knox. I know y'all want to, some of y'all gonna hate on Knox because he went for a nut last night. I mean, he had a nut. He was on a nut. And he had to come out because he was hurting us offensively. But he wasn't hurting us defensively. Okay? I don't know what it was, if he was tired or whatever, but they gave him a wide open look in the corner, and that boy airballed it, and I was like, no, this guy's offensively, he's just not here. And right away, Thibodeau took him out. Okay? He played 15 minutes. You're going to have nights like that. Leave Kevin alone, though. I don't want to hear no Kevin hate. Kevin's going to be all right. Okay? He's 21. He's going to be fine. Now, okay. If you from New York, like me, right? I mean, when I grew up, like nobody, like how can I explain this? Nobody was using their regular name. Everybody had a nickname. And it wasn't like we was trying to figure out what the nicknames was. They was just natural. Like I had one of my best friends was Dark as Night, and we called him Smoke. Right? And there's another name, this dude named David, we called him Mike. I don't know why we called him Mike. We just always called him Mike, even though his real name was David. Then there was another brother, we called him Greek. Because he's always acting like he laying odds on something. So we called him Greek. At the time, Jimmy the Greek. So everybody had a nickname. We wasn't trying to give people nicknames. It just kind of came, right? And so I'm used to that. So last night, my man Austin Rivers became butter. I don't get it. He didn't play no preseason. He was hurt, and he didn't play 5-on-5. I was concerned. But homie comes in the game, right? And under control. He doesn't force anything. I love that. Under control. Plays defense. He's a coach's son, and he plays like it. IQ. Okay? And listen, let me give props to all y'all out there that's been sending all these quotes. Some of y'all been telling me Austin Rivers needs to start at point guard. And I thought y'all was crazy. I'm honest. I thought y'all was crazy. And I'm just saying now he should start at point guard. But he definitely needs to be in the rotation. And I think he's going to be. I think Thibodeau, a matter of fact, when Thibodeau took Bullock out last night, he replaced him with Austin Rivers at the end of the game. And that was a smart move. Okay. So Rivers scored 15 last night. And again, under control, efficient. That's the thing. Efficient. High IQ. No bonehead plays, man, from Austin Rivers. Now he did hit his neck on the support last night. And that looked like, today he's going to be in some pain. So I don't know what his status is going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if he sat against Atlanta. I wouldn't be surprised because that looked pretty bad where he hit his head like that. And if you ever had that in your neck, that's and then they got to do the concussion protocol. So I wouldn't be surprised if he sat against Atlanta tomorrow. Okay. But, going forward, and especially as we go toward the end of the season, I'm sticking with my 31 wins because I don't want to put no pressure on them, but I would not be surprised if they won more games than that. I would not be surprised if they're in the top 8 in the Eastern Conference. I would not be surprised. The Knicks are getting better game by game. And we are deeper than people understand. If Rivers doesn't play, you still got Frank. You still got DSJ. You still got these guys out there. And these guys got talent. They can fill in and run in the rotation. Now, DSJ's been having a little rougher go of it in the beginning. He hasn't been on track yet. But when he does play, he plays good defense. Okay? I still got confidence in my man. I still do. And of course, I'm a Frank lover, so I'm always going to have confidence in Frank. So we got depth, man. Okay, we got depth. So Mitchell Robinson. And you know what? I'm tired of Mitchell Robinson hate. Please don't post no Mitchell Robinson hate on my page, man. I told y'all, the boy, I've been saying since they drafted him, the kid is special. That first summer league, the kid is special. Okay. Last night, he only had 3 fouls. He was controlling the paint. And you know what happened? If you watch the game, if you don't double him on an offensive board, he is going to get the ball and flush it on you or tap it in. His hands are really soft, really good hands. Okay. And last night I think he started off the game like his first 7 for 7 or something like that. Tip ins because only, Miles Turner was trying to stop him. And Miles Turner's a really good player, but Mitchell Robinson is special. He's athletically gifted. And Turner's not enough to stop him off the offensive boards. You need 2 players on him, which means now you have a problem. Because if you put 2 players on Mitchell Robinson and now you got Randle that's coming to play every night, you're going to have a problem. That's why if the Knicks focus on defense and rebounding and ball control, we're going to go someplace this year. I'm not winning the championship. I'm not saying that, but we definitely going to the playoffs. If they keep playing that kind of game, where every game, we knew this from the beginning with Thibodeau. If you play defense, you're going to be in every game. You're not going to win every game, but you're going to be in the game so that you're a threat to win every night. That's where you start building. Okay. So now, and this video is going to be a little longer because this was a good game, but I'm just saying Mitchell Robinson, what do you get? 16 points, 9 boards, 2 blocks. And I don't know how many shots he altered. Okay. 8 of 10 from the field. Why? Because you can't handle them on the offensive glass. They got 2 roughnecks, Indiana. Sabonis is a daggone roughneck. Okay. And then they got Miles Turner. And they could not stop him. And it was a brilliant move to have Julius Randle guarding Sabonis. That way, now Mitchell Robinson's not getting in foul trouble. Okay. And he didn't. He only had 3 fouls the whole night. Okay. So Mitchell Robinson played Mitchell Robinson style game. Randle was off and he still played a great game. Bullock was was a great defender last night, as was Rand. In fact, all of our guys played great defense last night, period. Anybody that played minutes, and he played 9 guys last night, at least 15 minutes. He played 9 guys. And I think that's a smart move. I think you see that going forward. Okay. My man Alfred Payton, though. See, this is what happened, man. I'm not joking. Y'all gotta go ahead and look it up yourself. Last April, the Knicks put out the word. The Knicks did through Ian Begley. They were looking for a stretch 4. Which is telling Randle, you done, man. We can't have that. We're looking for a stretch 4. Then they go ahead and draft Obi Toppin, a stretch 4. Look at Randle. He will never admit it. He was pissed, man. He came in shape. They hired Kenny Payne, and he came in and they worked it. And this boy is playing all-star basketball. Competition brings out the best in talented players. And that's what happened here with Randle. And then they bring in Emmanuel Quickly. Okay? Emmanuel Quickly is good. They knew what they were doing when they drafted him. Okay? We were all questioning at 25. That was a guy you wanted to look at the early second round, especially when you had a Malachi Flynn, you had a Desmond Bain. Some of y'all like the kid Pritchard from Oregon. You had all these guys that you could have got. You had Maxey. They could have moved up a couple of slots and got Maxey, but they picked Quickly. So it was questionable. I didn't doubt them because, like I said, I'm not going to doubt what they do because I believe in this front office. So, but it was a little bit of doubt in the back of everybody's mind. Quickly, why you pick him so early? Even the media was all down. They gave the Knicks a D on that draft. Emmanuel Quickly could play. And that floater game is tight. He came into the game. I'm getting ready to get back to Peyton in a minute, but Emmanuel Quickly came into the game. What I noticed, he already knew T.J. McConnell was guarding him, and he decided already T.J. McConnell cannot guard me. And he went right at that boy. He draws fouls like he's a seasoned vet, man. The refs are not giving him the 2 shots because he's a rookie. But he draws fouls like a seasoned vet, man. And he's crafty. And he's athletic. And man, he quickly can play. So EP saw that. Oh, really? You think this kid's going to take my place? Last night, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 of 17 from the floor. He missed that first foul shot. I was like, this guy can't shoot foul shots. It was ugly to watch. When Peyton gets ready to shoot a foul shot, it's like, oh. But homie sunk 3 of 4 from the line last night. He was getting to the rim. What you do against shot blockers, like a Miles Turner who had 8 blocks against us the last game, is you got to go at them. You got to go at the shot blocker. You got to aggressively attack. And that's what he did. They started with that zone, and homie would get in the crease and get to the basket. EP said, no, y'all not. Oh, I heard you wanted to trade me. I heard you thought IQ was taking my place. Let me show you what I am. Woo, man. I was like, dude. And the thing is about it, if Randle is hurt or can't play, if EP is hurt or can't play, we still got Obi Toppin. We still got Emmanuel Quickly. And I don't know about Toppin yet because he hasn't had enough time to show what he could do. You know, he got hurt in the first game, I think. But Quickly's ready, man. There's no doubt about it. That boy can come in right now and do work. I'm very confident in that. If he needed to start him at the point, I have no problem. He's so poised. And like I said, the floater game is money. Is money. And not only that, we know he can shoot the jumper. And right now, he's 100%. He's 100% from the line for the season. He ain't taking that, but he ain't missed nothing yet. Woo, and we still wait. We ain't even talk about Iggy Brasdegas. He ain't play last night. Neither did Harper or Pinson. But these guys are also scrappers, man. I like our change. Oh, okay. Nerlens Noel. Nerlens Noel played good, like a good backup should. That's right. Nerlens Noel's backing up Mitchell Robinson, and he played the role perfectly, as he's supposed to. See, at first I was thinking, and some of us were thinking, maybe Noel is going to push Mitchell Robinson because that's what Tom Thibodeau wanted, to create the competition. Of course, when you saw Mitchell Robinson in those interviews, he wasn't worried about that. He's welcome to competition. He's going to make me better. But he was not concerned with Nerlens Noel lasting in front of him as a star. And he shouldn't have been. Because Nerlens Noel is gifted, but he's not Mitchell Robinson. Okay? Mitchell Robinson's a special player. The hands, the athleticism, the timing. He's got more talent as a basketball player than Nerlens Noel. But Nerlens Noel can play. So we're not losing anything at the 5. He played 17 minutes last night. Mitchell Robinson played 29 minutes last night. And then you have Randle playing a couple minutes at the 5 as well, which is fine. I love this team. I really do. And I like the players we have. I don't want to trade for nobody. You know what, brethren? Just think about this for a minute. Over the last, let's say, even 5 years, and you go back to 2015 or 6 years, 2015, I don't think we've had the same crew of core people for 2 years in a row. I think it's changed almost every year. Okay? We haven't had like 5 players that played together 1 year and came back and played together again. And so I like this crew. I want to bring everybody back. I want to bring Randle, Bullock, Robinson, Peyton, Barrett, Knox, Noel, Rivers, Quickly, Brazdeikis, Harper, Pinson, Dennis Smith Jr., and Frank Ntilikina. Bring them all back. And let them play again next year. And they're going to be better. Now, realistically, we know not all of these guys are going to be back. Some going to leave. But at least the core group of the rotation, bring them back, man, because we're going to get better. As these guys keep playing together, they're going to get better. And I like the fact that if one of them gets hurt, we're not dependent on one guy. This is not like a Carmelo-led team where if he's out, we messed up. Or KP where if he's out, we messed up. No, if Randle is out, watch, you're going to see Obi Toppin going to be good. He just needs time. He hasn't had that yet, but he's going to be good. We're not going to miss a beat. We're not. And Butter, Austin Rivers for $3.3 million, that's a keeper right there. And we got option on him. He's a keeper right there. He's 28 years old. So he's in his prime. And, like I said, he's not a superstar, but he is a solid piece. And he has been for like when he played for his dad, the Clippers, and when he played for Houston, he's a solid rotation piece on a playoff team. He is. He's proven that already. Okay. So here we go. And so, tomorrow night we got Atlanta. Like, I don't know. I suspect IQ is going to play because he played good. He didn't look like he was even hurt last night. So he's back. I suspect we're going to get Frank back. I'm hoping we get Alec Burks back. Because that's what we're missing Alec Burks. If we get Alec Burks back, ooh, that second unit is rough, man. And I'm hoping we get Alec Burks back. So I'm looking for Frank, Alec Burks to be back, as well as we could keep Quickly back. I'm thinking that I'm not sure about Austin Rivers. I'm concerned with that neck injury. I know they got to do the concussion protocol, so he may miss tomorrow's game against Atlanta, and hopefully be ready against Utah. Because after this game, I think the next 4 games, at least 3 of them, of the next 5 games, 4 of them are at home in New York. So after they play in Atlanta tomorrow, they got 4 of the next 5 games are in Madison Square Garden in New York. So that's good for us. And if they win in Atlanta tomorrow, they would have went 3-1 on this road trip. When's the last time the Knicks went 3-1 on a road trip? That's amazing. So, that's again a testament to Thibodeau and his crew. So, tomorrow I'm looking for everybody to be back except maybe Rivers because of the concussion protocol. I'm thinking they're going to probably want to put him in that. But I don't remember anybody else getting hurt. But then again, see, everybody that's missed time so far this year, during the course of the game, you didn't hear about it until after the game because somebody will play through stuff. Like Obi did that. Frank did that. They played through stuff. Unless you saw like Quickly, it was obviously he got hurt. But, I think you're going to see that. Everybody's talking about what the rotation is. Thibodeau has said you're going to need all 15 guys. And I believe it. People don't listen to what he said. You're going to need all 15 guys because of the way they play, the intensity level in which they play. You're going to get a lot of nicks, a lot of soreness. People are going to need rest. Okay. And that's what you're going to see. So you're going to see this rotation change, especially the bottom part is going to change. Okay. So, in the defense last night, they scored 102 points, but the last couple points was like desperation threes or whatever. The Knicks were really playing good defense last night. They really were playing really high level defense for 48 minutes. They really were. So, I'm I'm expecting this to continue. As I said, the Knicks are going to continue to get better as the season goes on, which is why I'm very confident in the 31-win season. And I'm very confident there's a strong possibility they can outperform that. And they could definitely be ending up in that 8th seed. You're going to see some games that they're going to look bad. There's still going to be some games where they're going to look bad because offensively they're just not going to have it, or maybe they're going to be gassed a little bit. That's going to happen. But overall, you're going to see them continue to get better as the season goes on. And that's what I'm excited about. Games like what they had last night, and games like what they played when they played against not Milwaukee, when they played against Cleveland, are games they would have lost last year. They would have lost. Even last night, they would have lost. Somehow Indiana would have come back. Brogdon would have had 40, and we would have lost the game. Okay. Randle would have got desperate and reached at the end and probably fouled out. But, none of that's happening now. Much more disciplined team, much more under control. Okay. We got a style, a culture of defense, rebounding. Okay. We still got to learn, and ball movement, big time. Next is the ball control. So now, once they can get those turnovers down into that 8 to 10 range a game, 8 to 10. See, right now, last night they had 15 turnovers. That was not good. I mean, they're getting better. Randle had 4. Mitchell Robinson didn't have any. Randle had 4. Randle had 3. No, I'm sorry. Randle had 4 turnovers. Bullock had 1. Peyton had 3. Rivers had 3. Quickly had 3. I don't expect that to continue. I really don't. I'm expecting that to get closer to 10. Once the Knicks are playing to where they're playing now and get those turnovers down to about 10 a game, they're going to be really good. Really good. Really, really good. Especially when they're playing this type of defense. Really good. And their rebounding focus is great. That's why even though Bullock only scored 6 points, I like that he got 7 boards. I like that Mitchell Robinson had 9. Peyton had 8 boards. I like that Noel had 6. That's what you want. Okay? So, we go to Atlanta. Atlanta's pretty good. I don't think, what's their record? I think they have a winning record. I'm pretty sure, that they are, I think they only had 1 or 2 losses. Let me see. Let me check out Atlanta. Let's see Atlanta here. Atlanta's 4-2. They got an L last night against Cleveland. They had an L last night against Cleveland. Cleveland beat them last night. Cleveland's 4-2. That doesn't mean anything because we beat Cleveland and Cleveland beat Atlanta doesn't necessarily mean we can easily beat Atlanta. Basketball is a little different. It's about the individual matchups with the teams. So I still think we could beat Atlanta though now. I'm not saying we can't beat them, but I'm not going to say, don't think it's a given that we're going to just walk into Atlanta and win this game. They're a solid team. They got obviously very good shooting with Bogdanovich and of course Trae Young. And then of course they got their young kids are coming up. I watched the game against Cleveland last night. Their young kids are coming out and really playing good. Collins is playing very good. Herter was playing good last night, as well as Cam Reddish didn't look so good last night, but Hunter did. Okay, so they got a good squad. The Hawks got a really good squad. We can't take it for granted. We can beat them, and this is the thing I'm liking about our Knicks team. We can beat anybody. There's no team that we're going to walk in and say, oh, we have no shot. Not this year. We could beat anybody at any given night. Okay. Danilo Gallinari didn't play last night. He's out. Looks like he's still out. Danilo Gallinari is out and Okongwu is out. And they missed them last night. I was wondering where they was. They missed them. Rondo's day to day. So, I don't know, but, so they're a little banged up. We have a good shot to beat these guys. Tomorrow night. We should be able to beat them. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but if we play Knicks basketball, we will win. Okay. And so, here we go, man. Be safe on this Sunday. Tomorrow I'm back to work. It's vacation time is over. And, here we go. Knicks Atlanta tomorrow night. Go Knicks. Shalom.